Hi, welcome to the Split Screen Gaming Podcast, the occasional weekly podcast where three lifelong friends correspond about video games from each other's homes. I stumbled on that a little bit. We have a really exciting episode this week, I think. There's been a lot that has happened.
I mean, really, do we know our episode's going to be exciting? We literally haven't recorded it yet.
Well, we know it's going to be exciting because I know what it's going to be about.
And
it's
we know
going to
the
be
content
exciting.
that we're covering is exciting. We don't know if we're going to be exciting delivering it.
We're going to talk about Mario and Rabbids.
Just ignore me, gloss over me. We don't fight on this podcast, Holden.
I'm not fighting over. I'm just stating facts. We're talking about the Nindies. We're talking about the importance of franchises and gaming IP. And then I think we got a pretty cool little thing with the Half-Life stuff that happened this week, too. We have a pretty awesome episode. There's a lot to talk about.
I didn't prepare for most of what you just talked about. So it's going to be a very exciting and interesting podcast.
Well, that's what happened last week.
I'll play the part of the audience, and I'll be like, wow, whoa. Or the Owen Wilson Star Wars, wow, 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 wow.
Oh, I just saw this video online, and it is Owen Wilson just saying wow, but every clip includes his nose being removed, and it's just like his mouth and his eyes, and his eyes are really big. It's the most random thing I've ever seen.
I hate the internet. I hate it.
People are like, the internet's beginning, it will be filled with a wonderful, bountiful amounts of knowledge that all of us can learn from, and weird videos, including Owen Wilson saying, wow.
Wow. Hey, we've done this occasionally weekly thing, like, I think this is the third Wednesday in a row.
It is the third Wednesday in a row.
You're welcome, America, and Australia, and Spain, and all those other places that listen.
Just knew that your week, if maybe it wasn't going so great, midway through it, you have something awesome happen. The Split Screen Gaming Podcast. If it was a great week, it's now even better because the Split Screen Gaming Podcast is on Wednesday.
And you know what else happens to Midway? They go out of business and sell all of their games, like Gauntlet. Midway Games.
That was sad, though, but this is a good thing. That's not a good thing.
Right.
This is a good thing.
You're right.
So, Chad, we'll talk about Mario versus Rabbids in a second.
Yeah,
but I want to hear about Uncharted Lost Legacy. I almost called it Uncharted Last Light because I played Metro Last Light this week as well.
Uncharted Last Light.
You go ahead, Chad. I want to hear all about you playing Uncharted Lost Legacy.
I'm not going to get
a play for a while.
So our initial segment of the show, for those of you who are listening for the first time, hi, I love you. Pretend there's a little kiss mark on your cheek from where I got you earlier because I'm part Italian. What I played this week started with...
I'm Italian. I don't kiss people on the cheek.
I'm part Italian, and I kiss some people on the cheek.
But if you're all Italian, you'd kiss everyone on the cheek.
That's right.
Exactly. Okay, cool.
Pokemon Yellow on my 3DS.
Were you really?
Yep.
Why?
Yep. Because I finished Uncharted Lost Legacy, and I was waiting for Rabbids to come out, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hurry up and finish Pokemon Yellow real quick. And I only beat one gym leader. So
real quick. You can just beat those games real quick.
Well, I mean, I was already halfway through, and I quit right after I got Mew using the little trainer trick. Mm-hmm. So I played that for a couple of days on my 3DS. And then I beat Uncharted Lost Legacy. So I think last time I said I was on Chapter 5 of 12 question mark, and then I went up at the end like this. And then Josh told me the next day that there were only 9 chapters and that I was a lot closer to the end than I thought I was. And I finished it. And it was really, really good. I love the dynamic between Nadine and Chloe. I would absolutely pay to play another full game with Chloe as the protagonist. Totally into that and their little dynamic there. It does kind of feel like... I think... the way I've been putting it in my head, which is probably not a good metaphor. I'm not a good metaphoricizer.
Or making up words on the spot.
Or that was an amazing word that I just made up, and you're just jealous because you have a
I am
tiny
jealous.
lexicon.
That was a good one on the spot.
It's as if it's all the same exact mechanics of 4, but you're playing as Chloe instead.
I imagine that's exactly what it was going to be.
Right. And it's as if somebody bought a tiny plot of land. They're like, oh man, I would love to build a little shed for my stuff here. And then they start building their shed, and you're like, oh man, you know what? I actually have a lot more stuff I would like to store in here instead. So I'm going to try to pack it in. We'll make it really, really tall. And so like they were hamstrung from the beginning by the small amount of land that they bought. And I think the expectation that Naughty Dog put whenever they're like, this is going to be DLC. This is going to be a single-player DLC add-on chapter.
It just kind of kept getting
4.
bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right, and you can kind of feel that along the way. But it is still much better than most of the games out there. And it's only $40, so it's already like a budget, quote-unquote, title.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like it's a lot shorter, though, than Uncharted 4.
It is. It was like 6... Oh, definitely than Uncharted 4.
Is it only a third shorter? Because it's a third less than the cost of Uncharted 4.
I don't know, and I honestly don't feel comfortable answering that because I don't think that's a good way to judge video games.
Well, I think if you're going to make that comparison, considering they're the same exact type of gameplay, I think that's kind of fair. It's not like you're comparing The Witcher 3 and Mario.
No, because pacing has a big thing to do with it. How many giant set pieces and things like that has a big thing to do with it. And there were... This game feels iterative. Every Uncharted feels like there's some big new thing, new piece of technology, new gameplay mechanic, new giant mind-blowing set piece. And then this one feels, in almost every way, iterative. I don't want to spoil anything, but it does some things that other games have done just in a much better way, but it's nothing like mind-blowing or new mechanic-wise. But I definitely enjoyed it a lot. I would probably, like, if I were rating it out of 41, I would rate it like a solid 34 out of 41.
That's a good score.
But what I fucking love about it is that it does prove that you can have a very competent and awesome Uncharted game without Nathan Drake. And I think now that they see that, I'm very excited for the potential of seeing more projects like this down the road. Mm-hmm. So I very much enjoyed it. Absolutely worth $40. If you're an Uncharted fan, definitely worth playing. Go for it. You'll see some familiar faces that you love, like Chloe and her rockin' bod and her rapier wit.
I think one thing I'm excited to hear about, though, is that it's not like, oh, here's 2 new characters in Uncharted. Here's some weird zany gimmick that makes this game appropriate just for them.
Right. And there are some really cool things in this game that happen that I don't want to spoil, but there are some moments that make this like genuinely fun and great to play. And those not like the giraffe moments in Last of Us where you're just like, oh my god, the world is a beautiful place, I'm crying for no reason at a giraffe. But like some moments that make you go, oh wow, that was really fucking cool what I just played in this video game. So, good.
Maybe I'll check it out later on. I don't know yet. I liked Uncharted 4, but I'm not a huge fan of the series.
That's all you need.
The fourth one was the only one of the franchise I've liked.
Well, it's because you're stupid and you waited until you were 2,000 to play them.
That's right. I'm 2,000 years old.
You binged them
and
all
I still
at
play
once.
video games.
You're an idiot.
Who says video games are for kids? I'm 2,000. I still play video games.
And then I played Mario plus Rabbids, Kingdom Battle.
Before we get to that, I have some games I actually played this week too.
Was it Metro Last Light?
One game. Metro Last Light.
Did you finish it?
I did.
And?
From beginning to end. And it is phenomenal. Those games are so good. And the whole time I kept thinking, this is how it was on like PS3 and Xbox 360. I can't wait to see how the atmosphere and the tension is kind of ramped up when they have more power to kind of play with.
Yeah.
Because the atmosphere in that game is, to me, right on level with like a Metroid or something like that in terms of like how you feel and how the environment makes you feel.
How would you compare this one to 2033? This is the sequel to that one, right?
Yeah, so I'll be honest, it's hard to make that comparison. A, because I played Metro 2033 a little while ago, but also because when they remastered them, they tried to make them as seamless of experience as possible. So it kind of felt more like playing one gigantic game with 2 parts as opposed to playing game 1, game 2.
Okay.
So it was very seamless going into it, so it felt like a lot more of the same. But to me, that's a really good thing.
How would you compare it to Twisted Metal 2 on the PS1?
Considering I've never played Twisted Metal 2 on the PS1, I have no comment to say on that, but it was a lot better than Star Fox Assault on the GameCube.
Good. What about Star Fox Zero on the Wii U?
It can't beat that. That's the best game of all time.
I think I'm going to stop doing this podcast with you now.
To be fair, I've never played Star Fox Zero either. So
I thought you did.
No, I didn't.
You were so fucking excited for that game.
No, I wasn't. What are you talking about?
You were. You were like, oh man, Star Fox. I like Star Fox. I'm going to play this Star Fox game.
I've played Star Fox 64. I actually did play Star Fox Assault, and I didn't hate it as much as other people did. and in Star Fox Adventures. I played both of those actually before I played Star Fox 64. I am just a gift to video gamers everywhere.
Wow.
There are so many eye rolls I got from our audience after
jelly
that.
Bean. You are.
Yep, that's me. But Metro Last Light is a truly special experience, and I'm not going to talk too much about it because Chad has not played it. You have not played it, Chad. And I'm really excited for you to play this. I know you have it. I know
do.
You should play it at some point because they're very good games. They're very worthwhile.
I'm thinking like Destiny comes out on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I have a week of vacation starting on Thursday that I won't have my
Nice.
PS4, so I can't play it.
Wait, you won't have a PS4?
No, I'm going to be at the beach with my family.
The whole time?
Yeah.
You'll be at the beach the entire week.
Yeah.
You're going to sleep at the beach.
So then I'm going to come back and I'm going to play Destiny 2. And then I'm going to have like I'll probably have like a week where I'm like, all right, I've had enough of Destiny 2, but I'm waiting for South Park Butthole. Then I'll be like, all right, let's break out. Probably Pokemon Yellow. Oh, but let's talk about what the whole world wants to know about. Mario plus Rabbids, Kingdom Battle. There's a colon in there. No colon in there. Is there a colon?
Yeah, it's
Everyone
Mario
has a
Rabbids.
colon. Everybody poops.
Kingdom. I don't think it's a colon, but I mean it acts as a colon.
It's a subtitle.
Mario plus Rabbids subtitle. Yeah.
Kingdom Battle.
Kingdom Battle. So I want to know, how far have you made it, first of all?
I'm still in World 1.
Okay.
I beat the mid-boss. I'm in the very first area that you get to the thwomps, the rabid thwomps. I don't remember the name that they call them.
Oh, yeah. Stompers?
Stompers, yeah. And this game is fucking great.
It's really good, yeah.
This game is great. Each of these characters is unique as well, which I was surprised to find. I thought they were all going to be like just very, very small variations.
I thought you were going to have, here are some Mario characters that Ubisoft can't really do that much with because they're not their own characters.
Yeah. And
then you just have these generic Rabbid characters on the side. But the Rabbid characters take on a faux personality of one of the Mario characters. You have like a Luigi Rabbid, a Peach Rabbid, a Mario Rabbid. The Peach Rabbid is my favorite because she's so stuck up and into herself.
I really, really like the Peach Rabbid. And her stupid, like, getting beat to shit by a monster, and then she's like stopping in the middle to take a selfie, and she's like so full of herself. It's awesome. I've always been a big fan of the Rabbids, but from everything that I've read too, people who hate Rabbids and don't give a shit about them are actually finding them really charming in this game too.
Yeah, so I had never played any other Rabbids games. From what I hear, they toned it down from other Rabbids games.
Yeah, There's don't not scream as much in this game.
They don't scream a lot, but they do kind of leave it there if you do want it. So like as you're walking throughout the world, you might just kind of stumble upon two Rabbids doing something weird, and you can choose to observe them if you want to. If not, you can just walk right past it. So they do a pretty good job of balancing that, I think.
Yeah.
Because the big criticism of the game going forward, before we heard about it, before we heard officially what the game was, we just heard the rumors, was, oh shit, Mario's going to be with those obnoxious fucking Rabbids. I want no part of that.
But
so I think they kind of understood
so
who their audience was. They are really funny in this game, but again, maybe it's because they're toning it down. But there's a great moment, and this is very early on, this is probably in all the trailers too, where Peach Rabbid meets Peach, and she kind of walks up to Peach, like, touches her dress, like, puh, this is like, I'm way better than you, Peach. It was really funny. It was all done through facial expressions, though.
I really like it. Really like it a lot. I'm hooked as fuck on it.
Oh, I'm super hooked as well.
The gameplay, I don't like strategy games. I don't like RTSs. I don't like Fire Emblem. I've never played XCOM. Doesn't interest me. But holy shit, am I hooked on this? And the difficulty is there. Like, I've already had a couple levels where I'm like, I get to the end of it, I'm like, oh fuck, I could have done that better, or I lost a character, and I'm like, start, reset.
Yep.
Go back to the beginning
of
that battle,
really
play
easy
another
too.
20
It's
minutes.
super quick to restart it, yeah.
Yeah, it's really easy to restart, but man, that difficulty ramps up.
Each world takes a little while, too. I was worried when I heard there's only 4 worlds in it, but I've been playing quite a bit, and I'm just starting out the 3rd world.
Yeah, I might be about 4 hours in. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how far I am through World 1, but I'm like 1.7 or 1.8 or something like that. 1.7, I think.
So kind of the mechanics of the game, kind of how it works for those who don't really know much about it, is that it is a tactical strategy game, but between these moments of tactical strategy, you have semi-exploration to kind of find little hidden secrets, which is kind of where some of the Mario mechanics come in. Little baby puzzles, and they're not amazing puzzles, but it works really well to kind of keep you going. Like, I've explored through World 1 now multiple times to collect everything inside of it.
Once you get, like, the pushing box and stuff.
So I've now gotten everything in World 1. World 1's completely 100% done. And there's some really, really hard treasure chests to find.
Yeah?
Because there are points where you can't rotate the camera.
Right.
And so it kind of, like, you keeps your perspective at a certain point, so you kind of have to just nudge against walls and stuff to, like, kind of find areas you can walk into. But they're not totally hidden where you would never find it unless you went through the whole place with the fine-tooth comb. -1. I totally messed it up too. -1. There was one treasure chest in the first world that was devilishly hard to find, and I literally had to look it up. Devilishly hard.
Oh.
I had to look it up. But I found it because the internet told me.
Oh, you cheater.
Now, have you been experimenting with the different characters at all and trying different characters out?
I only have the first 3 plus Luigi.
Okay.
But yeah, I have tried Luigi, and he's more of like a sniper, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I haven't powered anyone up yet, like with the skill tree. The skill tree was a little intimidating at first.
It was, yeah.
So I was like, oh, I don't...
Like any
really
RPG,
know.
the skill trees
exactly.
are always intimidating at first.
So I got a move that allows Mario to jump on enemies as well after he does a team jump.
Mm-hmm. That's super useful.
Yeah.
Luigi,
that's the one
Luigi's
thing
special
about
thing
this
is, though?
game.
Really quick, Luigi is a great little mechanic. Just a little pro tip. Luigi, you can get him set up so you can team jump, so you can kind of jump on one of your characters and he'll push you forward. Luigi can do that with 2 characters in the same turn. And that's extremely useful for positioning him kind of far off and then steadying people out of the way. It's wonderful. Sorry, keep going.
I think my biggest criticism of this game, and it's not really a criticism, but I feel like it's the first Mario game that is going to be completely inaccessible to a younger audience.
Yeah.
Like, even when you're 5 years old, you can jump around and have fun on a Super Mario World or a Mario Bros. 3 or like a Mario Tennis or something like that. But this game, first of all, there's so much reading. There are so many complex game mechanics that, like, this is a higher level game.
I know it's intended for kids, quote unquote, but there are a lot of things in here where I'm like, oh yeah, this is definitely not made by Nintendo. There was a point, actually, I just happened to me in the game. One of the characters had to have something bleeped out. They have. I
guess that's why it's E10 plus.
E10 plus because it's suggested language.
Bleeps.
And not like actually bleep. Like in the little text box, there's like, the colon, asterisk, number sign, pound to like cover up a word.
Oh, I think those 4 in that sequence means fuck.
Oh, damn it. Don't spoil it for me.
Yeah.
I was trying to decipher it.
So I'm enjoying the shit out of it.
I'm enjoying it too. Can I just complain about one thing about this game?
Yeah.
Though? The camera is awful.
Yeah.
It bugs the crap
especially
out
in
of me.
battle, you can only, like, 4
Specifically
different angles.
only in battle.
Yeah.
When you're walking around, you can control it full 360.
In most
not
parts
full
while you're
360.
walking around.
Yeah, most parts. When you're in combat, it turns at 90-degree angles, but it's really more... Even all those angles are kind of slightly off at 45 degrees. You never have a dead-on view, or if there are enemies up above, like in a higher ground area, you can't see them. You kind of have to use what's called the tactic cam and then move around. But then it's hard to see where your character is to see if you have a good view. So some things to kind of have to work out in terms of getting a scope of what you're looking at in each match. But it's not impossible to work around.
Yeah.
And it ends up working out in the long run.
It's a very, very good adaptation of a Mario property with Ubisoft. I'm enjoying it. Everyone I know who's playing it is enjoying it. And I know that tomorrow for work, I have 4 hours of riding in a car, and I'm going to be playing all of that entire time. I'm going to be playing Mario Rabbids. Like,
if your Switch lasts that long.
Oh, it will, because I'm going to turn down the brightness and put it on airplane mode.
4 hours? I don't know if it's going to last, man. You might want to bring
it will. It lasts 3 hours on Zelda. Oh, I am having occasionally. I've played it like an hour.
I'm surprised
and a
you
half
played Zelda for 3 hours. How would you know?
I played about an hour and a half on a TV, and then I played the rest of it handheld. And I have noticed about once every 30 minutes, it'll hang for about 2 seconds. Like I'll be in the middle of walking.
On TV?
No, on the handheld mode. I'll be walking.
Oh, really?
And then it'll just it'll stop and then it'll pick back up, and they'll start walking again. So it'll just kind of hang for a second as it kind of processes it.
I've only been playing in portable mode, and I've not had any of those problems.
Sounds like you have a faulty Switch, because it's supposed to mess up.
It's supposed to mess up? That
it
makes
is.
sense.
It's part of the glitch of the game world with the rabbit and the goggles.
That's what happens when games are made by Ubisoft.
What's up with the kid, the Burger King kid from the 1990s? The cool kid from the Burger King Club?
What are you talking about?
The kid in the beginning who's making this mask.
That was so random. Yeah, so at the beginning of the game, they kind of lay out this really stupid reason as to why Mario and Rabbids are in the same world. And it's because in another dimension, there's a kid who made an invention that can combine objects together. And then the Rabbids somehow teleport into his bedroom while he went to go make a snack.
So with the teleportation and time machine, the washing machine thing.
That's right. Whatever. Is that a staple of the Rabbids franchise?
Yeah, and also that's the kid.
Oh my gosh, it does look exactly like him.
That's the cool kid with the visor from the Burger King Kids Club from the 1990s. Visor is
like the big MacGuffin of the game too. Burger King should sue Nintendo. That's hysterical.
Oh, Burger King. His name was Kidvid.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm excited to have you play more of the game, because the more I play it, the more I enjoy it. They're constantly throwing new types of enemies at you, or just like there are escort missions where you have to escort someone from one place to another part of the map. Just they kind of play with the formula a little bit. It gets fun. It gets really. I mean, it starts out really fun. It just continues to stay fun.
Titties, very excite.
So,
let's talk about some news.
Let's talk about some news. Let's save the Nindy stuff for last.
Good, because I don't have any Nindy stuff because I forgot to watch it.
I don't actually have that many news stories this week, but
I thought I did. Now I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I think. Let's see here. I'll start off here. So Sony's PlayStation VR is getting a price cut.
Yeah, it is.
Which I'm not surprised by, because I figured that they wouldn't release new hardware for a while, but they would cut the price once they kind of figure out the manufacturing of it and all that.
Yeah, and it falls in line with both the Vive and the Oculus getting price cuts in the last couple of months.
And I'm sure the timing is not coincidental.
Yeah.
So it's now $399, and the $399 is for the core PSVR set. Do you want to explain what the core PSVR set is, Chad?
Same as before, just adds a camera.
Sweet. Sounds great.
And then the bundle that comes with the camera, the Move controls, and PlayStation VR Worlds is now $450 instead of $500.
That's still a pretty good deal, though, because two motion controls?
Also, apparently motion controllers are hard to find. I don't know. I bought mine like 6 months before. As soon as I pre-ordered in March, even though it didn't come out till October, I went on eBay and bought some Move controllers in March.
I feel like not having motion controllers with the PlayStation VR would be like buying the top screen of a Nintendo DS. Like, you're missing out of a major portion of the experience.
Yeah, it's absolutely... Well, no, because the bottom screen of a Nintendo DS is mostly worthless, and the motion controllers for PSVR are where the best experiences are had.
I don't
like to say it's the other way around.
That. I don't like you being mean to Nintendo like that. That was
I'm just saying that no one, even Nintendo, doesn't even utilize the bottom screen of the DS to its full potential. But if you're playing VR without motion controls, you're an idiot.
It should take it back. Only Nintendo uses the bottom screen to its full potential. I think it's exciting. I'm still not going to get a PSVR immediately, but I'm more inclined at that price point than ever.
It's literally the same price point. Mm-mm. It is.
Well, with the stuff included.
Just with the camera.
No. I don't have the camera, though.
I know. They were kind of assuming people would, though. So, good. I'm glad. Fucking buy it, then. Shut up and just buy it.
Not yet.
Speaking of PSVR, 2 games that I am very much looking forward to have release dates now. So, Supermassive, who did Until Dawn and Rush of Blood, they have 2 more VR games coming out this year. Exciting. The Inpatient, both of these are actually revealed at the
E3
pre-show. No, it was during the actual announcement in E3.
No, it was the pre-show, I think.
No, it wasn't. There was a section in the middle that had the VR stuff. The PlayLink game Hidden Agenda was in the pre-show, which is their 3rd game. Mm-hmm. They have 3 games right now. I thought they were a tiny studio. What the fuck is going on, Supermassive? They're super massive. The Inpatient, which is kind of the prequel by several decades to Until Dawn, coming out November 21st. It's going to be a horror game. Going to be good as shit. And then Bravo Team, which is like their first-person shooter, military shooter, works with the PlayStation Aim controller as well, which I'm excited to use again December 5th of this year.
That's a VR game, you said?
Yeah, both of those are VR.
Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff.
Titties! I'm excited for more like high quality, super cool content on VR.
Speaking of
Italy.
Sony PlayStation, there is a remastered version of Secret of Mana coming out.
Yeah, there is. I'm going to get that
the
shit on
PS4.
Vita.
And Vita, that's right.
Yep.
That's exciting. That's one of those games where I've always wanted to go back and play that because I've heard really good things about it. But now that there's a remaster coming out, I'll probably just wait for that.
That's exactly right.
Exciting stuff.
Exactly right, Obama. Even though it's going to be $40.
It's going to be $40?
Yeah, it's going to be $40. It's a budget title. And by budget, I mean, like, it's affordable.
Too expensive.
I mean, well, I bought Final Fantasy Type 0, 14, whatever the goddamn, for $40 and played it for 2 minutes. I'm sure I'll buy this and actually play it, though.
Did you play the original Secret of Mana?
No.
That was an SNES game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Super Nintendo. I didn't play a lot of RPGs on the Super Nintendo because that was very much my parents' console, and I played what they bought. And my dad has told me, I don't understand how you guys play the games where you're like, I'm gonna hit you, and then I'll sit there and wait for you to hit me, and then I'll hit you, and then nope, that just seems stupid to me. I was like, all right, Dad.
If it can work well, but there are some games where it doesn't play out well enough, and I get pretty bored. Like I played
No, JRPGs are fun. It's the tactics and the strategy.
No, I played Final Fantasy 3 on my DS, and I loved that. And then I played Final Fantasy 4 on the DS, and I stopped halfway through because it just didn't have the same magic for me, so I stopped playing it.
Final Fantasy 4 didn't have the same magic for you?
Yeah, I know.
But 3 did?
But 3 did.
Who are you? You didn't like Cecil's story? Oh my god.
I guess not. I actually have that on my phone now.
How does anyone trust your opinion on this show?
Maybe no one does. Everyone's like, yeah, Chad's great, but there's that one idiot on the other end who just, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I don't know why I keep wanting to call you a jelly bean today, but you're a jelly bean.
Because I'm a jelly
stupid
bean.
Jelly bean.
I'm a jelly bean.
Oh, man. Hey, let me read a story.
Please do.
Secret of Mana is being remastered. Let me get a different one. Oh!
I've heard that before.
I'm excited. I'm not going to play it, and it's still going to run like trash, but I'm excited that Telltale is bringing Batman Season 1 and Guardians of the Galaxy Season 1 to Nintendo Switch.
Mm-hmm. I
assume it'll run similar to like the Vita version or iOS.
Yeah.
Which are... I've played the beginning episode of Walking Dead on Vita, and I've played the beginning episode of Game of Thrones on iOS, and it ran like trash. And I don't know. We'll see how it runs. But I'm excited that they're doing that and they're exploring it and giving more people that audience. And I feel like that would be a really good... Like, you could play a whole episode and then your Switch dies, and then you charge it and play the next episode, and then your Switch dies again. It's good. It's good.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Is it my turn? Can I go?
My second story is Crackdown 3... Microsoft admitted at Gamescom 2017 that Crackdown 3 was announced way too early.
Yeah, I heard about this.
They said, let me see if I can get the quote. Okay, speaking to Polygon at Gamescom 2017, Loftus admitted the company, quote, probably announced Crackdown too early, end quote, noting the game features 3 different modes, is being developed by 3 different studios, and was delayed to spring 2018 so teams could finish up the game's overall quality. Definitely underestimated the challenge of making sure the quality bar of all 3 of those modes was high, and it delivers on what we need to deliver on, Loftus explained, noting it was a super hard decision. Here we go. She announced that Microsoft has previously made the mistake of announcing some exclusives a little bit too early, which is something they're trying to learn from, and as such are remaining tight-lipped on their other projects they currently have in development. Yeah, definitely announced way too early. It was E3 2014 that was announced, and even in that state, it was like... they just showed the power of the cloud. Mm-hmm. Which they're calling CloudGen.
CloudGen?
Cloud Engine. CloudGen.
That sounds really
stupid. Isn't that
stupid.
Stupid as fuck?
That's really dumb.
CloudGen. I hate that.
Resolutionary.
I want to throw up.
All right, well, I have 2 Nintendo stories before I get to the Nindies stuff. So let me say these 2 stories because they're very related to each other.
All right.
So to start off with, GameStop was talking about the Nintendo Switch, and they basically said that the Nintendo Switch has been the most successful Nintendo launch ever at this point. And they pointed to a 14.8% year-on-year growth for console sales. My only gripe with that is I'm sure it's been a very successful launch for Nintendo Switch is when you have a third console being added that is selling well, of course your growth is going to go up. You know what I mean? Like when you have something new you're selling in your stores, your growth is going to go up regardless. So I don't know if it's...
Regardless.
Anyway, but they have said, and I think this was pretty interesting too, they have seen, quote, consistently high attach rates with over 5 to 1 since launch. That's a pretty high attach rate for a new console.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, they count accessories in that. So if you buy a screen protector...
For a while, you're like forced to buy Switch in a bundle if you...
That's a good point. I wonder if they include that. Like, it comes with 5 things anyway. The attach rate's so high.
Comes with an art book and a pair of Pokemon shoelaces and an old piece of gum that I found, but it has a wrapper. GameStop is... Ugh.
Yeah, not great. So this is actually funny. I went to trade in. I had a 360 when I got here. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm playing my 360 games when I get back. I'll play with the old Hitman. I'll play Fallout 3 because I have that. I'll play Mass Effect 2 again. This would be so exciting. And I have the Red Ring of Death on my 360. So I'm like, well, I have all these 360 games. I'm probably never going to play them again. I'll trade them towards Rabbids. The trade-in deals on some of these games were hilariously low. So I had a copy, for some reason, of Guitar Hero Aerosmith. I don't know why I had that version in particular.
Oh my god.
What do you think that trader did for a GameStop?
4 cents.
3 cents. You went too high.
Oh my god, I overshot it.
You overshot it. 3 cents for one trade-in game. Final Fantasy 13 was 50 cents. What do you think Marvel Ultimate Alliance was if those games were 3 cents and 50 cents?
Oh, Ultimate Alliance, that was legit though.
It was $8.
Yeah.
$8.
That game's popular. It was a good game.
Halo 3, it was like 50 cents. But Marvel Ultimate Alliance, $7. I don't understand the logic behind that. But anyway, interesting.
Dude, you should have kept those for backwards compatibility for when you get your One X.
I'm not going to get a One X. I've decided I'm not getting an Xbox.
You're not getting an Xbox?
When I went to the Xbox section of GameStop, right?
Yep. And you looked and you saw a Halo game and a Gears of War game, and you're like,
and then everything else is available on my PlayStation. And then went to the PlayStation wall. I'm like, oh, that's not over on the Xbox side. That's not over the Xbox side. Most of the games I saw over there were not on the Xbox side.
Yep.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
It is.
The other piece of news I have regarding Nintendo before we get to those lovely Nindies.
Wait, I have more stuff not Nintendo, so we'll have something in between there, like a little.
I'm just saying, I'm still going to say this before we get to the Nindies, so it still applies.
Okay, I get it.
Nintendo reportedly may produce 18 million Switches this year. Not
this calendar year?
This calendar year. They've apparently upped their production.
For holiday?
For holiday, yeah. So they might have 18 million. I wonder if they're trying to get to a point where you can just go into a store and just pick one up.
Yeah, that has to be it.
I was talking to the guys at GameStop, and again, this is one GameStop in Rhode Island, so it's not like it's as indicative of the entire country. They said, yeah, if we get them now, we'll get anywhere between like 5 and 10 at a time, and they'll last a few days now. So it might not be super hard to get a Switch anymore.
Well, granted, not a lot of people live in Rhode Island or want to go to Rhode Island, so I'm sure that they have a little bit of inventory that stays on the shelves. But
that's totally true. Rhode Island GameStops don't sell that much.
I mean,
there's actually a lot of GameStops in this area. There are too many GameStops in this area, so I don't know how true that is. It's because you're in Rhode Island, you got to find something to do, so you might as well play video games. So they said that the whole 5 to 10, they sell it in a few days.
Yeah.
That's not a huge shortage problem at this point, if that's how it is.
Well, I follow Wario64 ever since Nintendo fucked us on the SNES Classic pre-orders. So I follow Wario64 because he's constantly putting out like, hey, this is available. Hey, this is a pre-order. Hey, this is now on sale on Steam. So I follow him on Twitter and you have notifications. And he just tweeted out yesterday like, hey, it's seeming likely that Best Buy has these for order and pick up in store for Nintendo Switches. Like, the fact that he still needs to tweet that out, that they have stock ready to buy,
there's a demand still.
There's still a big demand for it, and people are having trouble getting it. So I think it is just that you live in a place that nobody wants to be.
Yeah, Rhode Island sucks.
Yeah. Clans.
No, I like Rhode Island, but it sucks sometimes.
Quahog.
So that was interesting. But 18 million units, they probably want that for the launch of Mario, because Zelda was the biggest seller, and then Mario will top Zelda easy.
Mario Odyssey, that's the only worthwhile game.
Mm-hmm. It's not the only worthwhile game. There's been a lot of worthwhile
Mario
games.
Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
And ARMS, and
Mario
Splatoon,
Kart
and
8.
Mario Kart, and
I played
Zelda.
Mario Kart 8 for like a good 3 hours, probably. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe like 6.
I play that a lot still, actually. It's
Yeah.
fun to play online. Yeah, that's like my go-to online game.
I picked up my Switch for the first time since, I don't know, May, to play Mario Kingdom Battle. And I was like it wouldn't turn on in the dock for a second. Like, it would be handheld mode, but my dock like wouldn't show up on the TV for a while, and I had to like restart.
Your
and
Switch
push
was
the
like,
power.
what is this little cozy bed that I'm in right now?
Somebody's paying attention to me?
I said that wrong, actually. It's not cozy. It scratches the shit out of your Switch.
No, it doesn't. Remember, I put the little felt pads on the inside.
That's right,
mine
so
doesn't
yours
scratch the
is
shit out of it.
cozy.
Mine is cozy and soft.
That's why it was weird. It's like, I'm used to my bed being hard and firm. What's with this
Nice
plush
and
felt?
soft, non-erect wiener. Hey, speaking of GameStop, there's a cool thing happening apparently in Australia where they have like a GameFly, but for in-store stuff, where you could pay $20 a month, and you can come in and you can just rent one pre-owned game as often as you like. I can get a pre-owned game this morning, go beat it, go back that afternoon, swap it out for another one just for $20 a month. It's the thing they're trying in Australia at EB Games, which is owned by GameStop here in the U.S.
It's like a movie pass kind of thing, but for video games.
Also, it's exactly what Blockbuster did before they went out of business.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Did that, I forget what they call it. It was like Game Corner, like Best Buy. Why do I keep saying fucking Best Buy? Blockbuster something. But yeah, you could go in and you could basically just have free reign of their thing. You just trade in a game and pick up another one. I think that's an interesting concept, but like, what happens when like there's no luck getting new games, or what if they get like one copy of a game and then suddenly that person's like, yeah, you know what, I think I'll buy it. I'm like, oh, okay, nobody on this program has access to that game anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how big their library of
well, if you say I want to buy
is.
it, they probably just give you a copy of a new disc, not the shared rental disc.
No, they're not giving you rental discs. They are you are renting the used video game selection in the store.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you just buy the used copy.
Yeah, so you could go buy this game for $8, or you could just take it home if you have the membership and then bring it back.
That's a good way to test it out, actually. Even just so, I'll tell my story about Fallout 4 or Fallout 3 on my 360. They tested it in the store and it played fine, but when you get to a certain point in the game, it keeps crashing over and over and over and over again. So, and it keeps saying like disk unable to be read. It's not like it's even just like crashing back to the dashboard in Xbox. It's just straight up saying this disk doesn't work anymore. So it'd be kind of nice to play the game for an extended period of time.
Yeah,
before that happens. I guess they already had the 7-day policy, but people are too lazy to do that.
I had a PS3, the old fat one, that was backwards compatible, and if you played Assassin's Creed 2, then the longer you played it, the more these giant spikes would start to come off your character and extend to the sides of the screen, and it would like look like he was being like torn to pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you played Borderlands 2, no matter where you were in the game, after about 25 minutes, it would just freeze.
Fun.
Yeah, the GPU apparently was failing on it. But you would only know that if you played those two games for an extended period of time. So I was like, hey, GameStop, what's up? You want this PS3? Works just fine. Boot it up, I promise. Scheming! I'm a schemer!
I actually do have one more story before the Nindies. What else do you got,
do you? Do you got one more story?
Do.
I got two more. Let me see if this one's worthwhile. I just clicked on it and it's taken a while to load. But Xbox, just kidding. Oh, this is apparently out today, I think. There's a cool Assassin's Creed / Final Fantasy 15 crossover. So if you're playing Final Fantasy 15, you can there are like Assassin's items you can get. There's an Assassin's Creed outfit. Let's see. There's like a festival. Yeah, some cool things. Apparently, it's not the first time that they've done that. Like in Final Fantasy 13, there was a crossover with one of whatever the. Oh, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit when I hooked. Oh God! Oh, my throat. Apparently, in Final Fantasy 13, there was like connection with whatever Assassin's Creed was out at that time. But I think that's really cool. Like two completely different developers and publishers are like, you know what? I like your game. I would love to like collaborate a little bit on something.
Mm-hmm. It is cool.
You get it, Square Enix and Ubisoft.
We can all get along and hold hands and be friends.
Well, I don't know about that. And then the last thing I just want to mention, Xbox One X pre-orders are the most, it breaks the record. It is the most pre-ordered Xbox of all time. Isn't that crazy?
I mean, what does that mean, though? I mean, there was 1 million pre-orders for the Xbox One. How many were there for the Xbox One X?
they didn't give a number, but they said that it has been pre-ordered within the first 5 days of being available. It has been pre-ordered more than the original Xbox One.
Wow, there are a lot of people making bad decisions.
I just found that surprising because it was aimed at such a niche group of people with the 4K gaming and the
I'm surprised to hear that, honestly.
Yeah.
We'll see how it turns out.
I don't feel
good about the long prospects of that system, though.
We were talking, just you and I, this like a year ago when they announced, we have an Xbox One S, and it's a new, sleeker version of our Xbox. But then next year, there's the Scorpio, and then we were like, why would anyone buy an S if they know there's going to be a more powerful version next year?
There's just build-up demand.
Yeah, I wonder if that was... I wonder if this is all of those people who were like, well, I was going to get an S, but now I'm going to wait.
Yeah. Every person who wanted to get an Xbox waited, yeah. I would wait if I was going to get an Xbox. It's like if I heard that if the PlayStation 4 Slim came out and they said a year later PlayStation 4 Pro is going to come out, we'd see the exact same thing.
Yeah. That's all my news.
Sweet.
Please send me nudes. Don't send me nudes.
Don't send me nudes either. So I have one more story. I thought this was interesting. If anyone who follows Half-Life 3, I don't play Half-Life. I've tried playing Half-Life 2 before, but I played the Orange Box version of it, which wasn't super solid.
Like I think they call that the OBV, the Orange Box version.
Orange Box version. So I'm just so fascinated by the story of Half-Life 3 specifically, though. Like, probably one of the most in-demand games ever, but we've not heard really a blip about it. But it's like, is it real? Is it not real? And so what happened this week is that one of the head writers who left Valve January of last year submitted... Did you hear about this, Chad? Have you heard about this?
Oh, yeah, I heard about this. Hey, have you heard about this? Have you heard about this? Did you hear this one? Let me tell you this joke. He submitted a blog post called Epistle 3, which really means Episode 3, and he just details what would have happened in Half-Life Episode 3 without ever really calling upon it. Hey, here's the thing. I haven't ever played Half-Life either. I did play like the beginning of 2, and I was bored. But is Half-Life 2 Episode 3 the same thing as Half-Life 3? Because I know that Half-Life 2 Episode 3 was always promised, but then also just never came out. Yeah, and which one is this person detailing?
So, Episode 3 specifically, I think what happened is they said, we're going to release this trilogy of additional packs to the Half-Life 2 content, Episodes 1, 2, and 3. It'll be a trilogy. And then it never came out, and I think people just kind of assumed, like Lost Legacy, well, they were going to have this small little story, and then it blossomed into a more full experience. And people kind of assumed that, so it was kind of like Episode 3, Half-Life 3, and they kind of were equated almost. But he detailed all the plot details, let us know what it was, ends on a cliffhanger, and to me this means that Half-Life 3 or Half-Life Episode 3 will never come out. I just can't see a scenario where the writer would detail a story for a game that's going to come out anyway.
Yeah.
I can't see it. I've looked into this. There are people of mine who still hold on to the fact that, oh, no, this is the sign that Half-Life 3 is still happening.
No, There's
dummies. No way. There's no way.
Stop it. At least not in whatever current form, or whatever form it was way back then.
But then, this happened.
But then...
some maps leaked.
Nevertheless, she persisted.
Some maps leaked, and the date file that was worked on them was 2013, which doesn't necessarily mean Half-Life 3 is happening, but it does mean they've been working on that game for a long time if they're still opening up map files and editing them. So someone, like, I guess, happened to find one of these map files, and it had dates on them that equate to 2013, the year 2013.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's almost like 5 years ago now.
It's almost 5 years ago now, but it does mean that they were working in this game for a lot longer than you would have expected if they just canceled it back in like 2000. What they said we were going to release in 2007. You'd imagine like 2010, like, all right, guys, we're done. This isn't going to happen anymore at the very least. But 2013 means they worked on it for a long time. So my question is still, like, what happened in there? Why did this game never get made? Was it really that just like the success of Steam and all that? I'm curious. Someone was saying that what they were showing in the maps for this game also kind of equated to what some of the story details he was talking about. So there's this thing in the map where, like, you would look somewhere, then look away, and when you looked away, something would, like, appear then disappear. And in the story, they detail how this ship in the middle of Antarctica was appearing and then disappearing and appearing and disappearing. So like some of the mechanics kind of matched up to the story that was being explained. So it's interesting, but I don't think any of this proves that Half-Life 3 is still in development. I still think this means more than anything, it's done, guys. It's over. Yeah. Maybe we'll get surprised in a decade. Maybe there'll be a huge thing next E3 and we realize that we were idiots and it really was coming all along, but I doubt it.
Yep. You burnt.
It's done. And plus, who needs Half-Life 3 when you have the slew of amazing Nindies that were announced today?
Whoa!
At Nintendo's Nindy Showcase.
Good little segue there, you little caterpillar jelly bean.
So let's detail some of these Nindies.
Okay.
I'm going to go through the list of all the games here.
You detail all of them, and then I'll tell you if I know them and whether I care.
You're not going to know any of these, I don't think. So, can't load it up. All right, so at the beginning, they talked about SteamWorld Dig 2.
Oh, yeah, SteamWorld Dig.
Which does actually have a release date now of September 21st.
Okay. I own that game, I think, on like 3 different platforms. Never played it.
I was telling someone they thought I was crazy for buying games, never playing them. I'm like, you've never met a gamer before.
No, obviously not.
Yeah, that is what gamers do. Oh, this game I really want to play is $4 now? Sure, I'll buy that. And then never go back to it ever again. Maybe you'll do that with SteamWorld Dig sometime next year when it goes on sale.
Yeah.
So, Yono is available October 12th. We also have Wilbur Blade.
You only niv once?
No.
I tried to think of another clever word with an N, but then I just said live with an N.
Available in next month, September 2017, we have Wolver Blade. Also in 2017, we have Golf Story, which is an RPG golf game.
Ooh, that's interesting.
It did look kind of interesting in like a quirky kind of way. If it was like $10, $15, I'd probably try it out. I don't know. Earth Atlantis. I'll come back to some of these games and talk about them because I want to bring up that one.
Okay.
Floor Kids.
Floor Kids?
Floor Kids. 9 Parchments. Battle Chef Brigade. Sausage Sport Club. Polybridge.
Oh my god.
Mom, Hide My Game. Morphe's Law. Shovel Knight, a new Shovel Knight expansion was announced.
Nice.
Kentucky Route Zero TV edition. Next Up Hero. Is it Mulaka? Malaka. Light Fingers. Super Meat Boy Forever, which will be coming to the Switch first.
Nice.
And Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes was officially announced.
Oh, a No More Heroes game.
No More Heroes is officially announced. Yep, Suda51. They made a huge point of letting you know that Suda51 is working on this game. There's a moment in the trailer where, this is the last game, so I'll talk about it. They were, this guy was bashing someone's head in, and they kind of played it as if he was bashing through the camera lens, and the cracks in the camera lens spelled out directed by Suda51. Like, they let you know pretty directly. There wasn't that much.
All of these games have the worst titles in the world.
Speaking of worst titles,
don't play me. Ignore me.
Mom, Hide My Game.
Mom, Hide My Game. Oh my god.
That game is literally about you trying to look through rubble to find out where your mom hid your Nintendo DS. That is quite literally what that game looks like. But they kept saying it's not just that. I'm like, that's kind of what it looks like. So there's that. One that I first saw it and I rolled my eyes. Then I'm kind of like, this does look to be really fun to play. And that's Morphe's Law. It is a competitive 4-on-4 shooter, third-person shooter game. And at first I'm like, oh boy, that's dumb. But it has a really unique spin. And that is that when you shoot your enemies, you take mass away from them and add it to yourself. So if you shoot them in the head,
so
their head becomes smaller, your head becomes bigger. But it can get to the point where you are nothing but a pair of legs walking with a head because your torso is shot away. Or you can be so small that you can't fit into that you can now fit into certain areas in the map that you couldn't otherwise. Or you're so big you can't walk into buildings anymore. So it's kind of like this balance of the more you lose, the harder it is to hit you. And then if you keep losing, it's easier to hit them. And it seems like a kind of fun balance. It's something you kind of have to see and kind of see what these characters look like as they start with morphing, which is why it's called Morphes.
I'm imagining like Bomberman.
They don't look like Bomberman.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Well, I imagined wrong.
That game looked surprisingly interesting. Polybridge looked interesting. I don't really know exactly what like the thread is going to be in this game, but they kind of showed like the thread of how this game mechanic turns into like an actual game. But I guess you're making bridges and then having cars drive over the bridges. But you can do things like have them catapult over the river instead. And it looked fun to see, but I'm not quite sure of what the gameplay of that is going to look like. Earth Atlantis. You should look up the Earth Atlantis. It had a really cool art style where it takes place in the future, where the world is mostly water now, and you are Earth Atlantis, a submarine, fighting all of the robotic animal monsters down there, Horizon Zero Dawn style. And it's like it's not an actual Horizon Zero Dawn style game. It is. It's a side-scrolling like shooting game. What?
I did not expect Morphe's Law to look anything like what it looks like. I'm looking at pictures of it now.
It's more realistic. I kind of made it sound cartoony, but it looks kind of realistic.
I was picturing like a top-down pixel.
No, it is a third-person shooting game. Yeah.
No, that's so cool.
It does look kind of funny. So do you get to see the characters?
Like, some guys with like giant legs that are the size of a building, and then like no arms and a head.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
God,
you win each map. There's like an avatar for each person kind of overstanding the city, and they get bigger as you add mass to them. So that whoever wins is whoever's avatar is the biggest.
That's interesting.
That looked kind of fun. I saw that and I'm like, stupid third-person shooter again? And I'm like, no, actually, that looks kind of fun. I would play that. But other than that, there wasn't really that much that stood out to me. All the games looked unique enough. Like, they're definitely... I saw why they were selected. None of them looked bad. There's definitely an audience for each of these games, but not that many of them spoke out to me. I think Golf Story looks like it could be kind of fun, actually.
Yeah.
Earth Atlantis could be fun. If I could get, like, Mom Hide My Game and, like, a PlayStation Plus kind of thing for my Nintendo Switch, I would play it because I'm kind of curious, but I've never put money down on it. And I haven't played No More Heroes. Have you played No More Heroes before?
I played No More Heroes, when it came out on Wii.
I never played it. Was it fun? How was it?
It was fun. It was it's very like graphic for the sake of being graphic. And like the way you charge up your beam sword, which looks like a fluorescent light, is by like jerking it up and down with the Wii remote like you're jacking off. But like I don't know, it was fun, and for its time it was like one of the only games that was violent on the Nintendo Wii, other than like what's the game that ripped off Sin City?
Mad World?
Ripped it off. Mad World, yeah, it was all black and white, and then it was pretty cool. Weird, very weird, but that's a Suda 51 game for you.
Interesting. Do you know about Kentucky Route Zero?
Nope.
Apparently this has been like an ongoing game. They announced that this is the 5th act is coming out, and all acts will be available on the Switch. That game looked interesting. It's a narrative-based game.
Yeah.
The art style is not like Sword and Sorcery, but there's something about it kind of reminded me of that. Like indie, really kind of unique art style.
It kind of, I'm looking at it now, it kind of looks similar to, what's that Tim Schafer game that came out? It was on PS4, and then it just recently came to Xbox.
Broken Age?
Broken Age, yeah. It kind of looks like Broken Age to me.
It looked good. It looked interesting.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious to try that out. But we'll see. I don't really know anything about it, but I guess there's enough information out about that I could have looked it up. I was just too busy playing Mario Rabbids, okay?
God, Mario Rabbids is just so good, though.
So good.
So good.
Just wait. It gets so much better, too. All right. That's really all that happened in the Nindies event. I was surprised by how many of these games are coming out in early 2018, but I think they kind of want to pad the beginning of the year. Either way, it's super cool to see that indie developers are coming to the Switch in such huge numbers like this. Because even if the EAs, the Activisions, I mean, obviously Ubisoft is supporting the Switch. They made Mario Rabbids. It's indies games and Nintendo first-party games, I think, could support this console for the people who are interested in the Switch.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Any of those stood out to you at all?
I don't know any of them, so no.
No?
Other than
Super
the ones
Meat Boy
highlighted,
Forever?
yeah.
You don't know about Super Meat Boy?
I was never really into Super Meat Boy. I tried it on my Vita.
Very hard.
Yeah.
Super hard.
Yeah.
And not in a
Super
fun way
Meat.
for me.
Superboy, super hard.
Yep. Well, cool.
Super Meat Boy hard. Hey, Holden.
Yeah.
What's our topic of the week this week?
The topic of the week is the importance of gaming IP. In other words, why would Nintendo release another a Mario game when they could just release a platformer? Like, why is it a Mario game in particular? Or why do they create these spin-offs of, like, Mario Kart? Why don't they just make a Mario Racer? Like, what is the purpose of gaming IP, really? Have you thought about this at all for the past week?
Not really.
Not really?
Yeah, go ahead and hit me with what you got, and I'll chime in and give my opinion.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that I actually have a list here.
I've been a terrible podcast partner this week.
You are the worst. You're literally texting on the Splatoon chat right now.
Shut up! It's now the Mario Rabbids chat.
That's true. It's just whatever Nintendo game we're talking about. So we have like a group chat of like people who play Mario Kart and Splatoon or just Nintendo Switch in general. We join that because we're dorks, okay? But we love it.
Dork is a whale penis.
That's true. We are whale penises.
Whale peni.
So I think that talking about the whole gaming IP thing. So I think that gaming IP is designed as kind of like a label of this game is going to reach a certain quality. Like, you have liked Metal Gear Solid games before. If you're going to play a stealth action game, you're going to play Metal Gear Solid over another stealth action game because you know the standard set by Metal Gear Solid. I just cannot talk this podcast at all. So I think it's a lot of like, hey, we know you like this game. Here's more of that same kind of game.
Yeah, I think I find it similar to...
I'm trying not to talk about sales too much because I think that's an obvious...
Oh, yeah. And sales, obviously, if it's a known quantity and it's something that people... Like, it's going to equate to better sales. That's why sequels always sell better. Anything with a number sells better. Mm-hmm. But I like to equate it to, like, film directors. Mm-hmm. Like, an IP in gaming, like... It's a Mario game. It's going to have a certain level of polish. It's going to play really great.
A Christopher Nolan movie is going to have a certain level of polish. I'm going to go see a
Christopher Nolan movie. I know what I'm getting into. I know there's going to be some kind of like time, play with time or sequencing and things like that. And I know that it's going to be a great film. Every once in a while, there may be some that are better or worse than others, but you kind of know what you're getting into. Like, I'm going to go see every Martin Scorsese film, and I know what I'm getting into there. I'm going to go see every James Gunn, and I know kind of what I'm getting into. So I kind of equate the gaming IP more so than the developer with a film director. Mm-hmm. And it's just a way of letting you know when you jump into this, you know what you're getting into, you know it's going to be quality, or you know not necessarily that it's going to be a quality game, but you know the quality of what you are getting into, whether you know it's going to be good or you know it's going to be bad.
I think it's a good comparison because like going back to Christopher Nolan, like I'm not a big war movie guy. So if Dunkirk had come out and it wasn't Christopher Nolan, I would have never seen that movie. Exactly,
yep.
But because of Christopher Nolan, I was willing to see something I wouldn't have otherwise tried out.
Right.
And that happens
a lot.
With
Mario Rabbids.
Exactly.
Had this game come out and it was Rabbids and more Rayman characters together, nope, I wouldn't have played it at all. Wouldn't have thought twice about it.
No one would have.
I mean, I've played a Rayman game. I've played a couple of Rayman games. I played the original Rabbids on Wii, but like, nope, that's a stupid kid's game.
And there are certain
put Mario in it though.
There are certain things you can expect from Mario Rabbids to knowing there's a Mario game. There's going to be little secrets that you can discover.
Yep.
Like there's going to be little things if you kind of explore and kind of go off the beaten path, you will find treasure or something like that. Like there'll be some sort of reward in doing that. Whereas like the Rabbids part of it says this is going to be goofy and it's going to have some kind of oddball humor thrown in there as well. So it kind of brings that expectation.
But humor, there's going to be... I like that when you're first introduced to the Rabbids, right off the bat, there are like 3 different Rabbids in 30 seconds who put something up their butt. Or they're scratching their butt with it, or they pull something weird out of their butt, or they touch their butt on something.
Because that's what Rabbids games are.
Rabbids are just so funny.
So
they just speak to me.
The more I've kind of been thinking about this sort of the past week since we recorded the last episode, and I think that it also means that by having a label on, like a gaming franchise label on a game, like Mario Rabbids, I might now be more inclined to try a tactical strategy game, whereas I never would have touched XCOM.
I was just thinking about that while playing this. I was like, you know what? Maybe I will give XCOM a try.
Exactly. It's like a gateway drug. It kind of brings you into different styles of games, and I think that's the brilliance of like the Hyrule Warriors and the Fire Emblem Warrior games that are coming out, is that if you don't play Dynasty Warrior games, but I really want to see Link destroy like hundreds of, bokoblins at once. I'm going to get Hyrule Warriors realize, hey, this is really fun. How do I do this again? Dynasty Warriors 9 is going to be coming out on the PlayStation 4 at some point. Let's go ahead and try that out as well. So it kind of opens up doors for other gaming genres that you might not have ever explored before.
And Nintendo in particular has been doing that for a very long time. If you even think back with their partnership with Game Freak and Pokemon.
Totally.
Colin Moriarty would famously, it calls Pokemon baby's first JRPG. And it's like it's a fun thing with adorable monsters and a known quantity that you like, and it's also like a surprisingly deep RPG with a team that you create and tailor and.
And then when you play Final Fantasy, you realize, okay, this is something new and different, and it's deeper. But I kind of learned those steps from Pokemon beforehand.
Yeah, and I think oftentimes they'll now have a very long and complex story that Pokemon lacked. And
that's the same kind of thing you're hearing about with Mario Rabbids.
Yeah.
I think Dan Stapleton of IGN, who reviewed Mario Rabbids, they picked him because he's a big XCOM fan. And they wanted his input on it. And his whole thing was, hey, it's definitely a simplified version of XCOM, but that's exactly what it should have been. Would you so I guess now we were both enjoying Rabbids. Do you feel that you would try XCOM now?
I do. I would want to try a demo or something first to because I've never enjoyed similar games to it in the past, but it has been 5 to 10 years since I've tried one. So I would want to try it at a friend's house or something like that before I committed with money, or if it was on super sale or something like that. Yeah, I'd pick it up. But
there is an XCOM game out on PS4 now, I believe.
Yeah,
Enemy Within, I think.
They're coming out with an expansion too on September 12th.
Yeah, so big stuff coming up there. So
yes.
I think that's kind of the good side of the gaming IP, but I think we're kind of talking about it in a little bit positive of light, because there are downsides to this as well. If you look at things like what happened with Assassin's Creed, that game got really stale after a while because you had this expectation of what Assassin's Creed was, but then Ubisoft never really broke from that, and they kind of kept doing the same thing. And it can work, but if you look at Mario and Zelda, their expectations are going in with those games, but they do kind of change and differ from game to game to kind of keep it exciting. Whereas Ubisoft would be okay, it's Assassin's Creed again, but now it's in Paris, or this time it's in London, whereas now the Origins are okay, we're changing this a little bit now. This is going to work a little bit fundamentally different, but it's still Assassin's Creed. It still has those elements you're used to.
Yeah.
Then you run into Call of Duty, where it's been so stagnant, and it's been so much of the same thing for so long. I think that can kind of hurt as well.
Yeah.
How do you think that
What?
So you would know Uncharted better than I do. Do you see that kind of stuff with Uncharted? How do they experiment and keep it Uncharted but still try different things at the same time?
Uncharted, I think a big part of why you play Uncharted is for these characters and their relationships to each other, and then the story that it tells. And the gameplay comes secondary. Now they introduce new mechanics, in Uncharted 2, they introduced the concept of stealth kills. In Uncharted 4, they introduced the concept of you could go through entire battles and stealth kill everyone, or you could use your rope. You could, there are so many different types of ways you could do all this kind of stuff. So each one kind of introduces new gameplay mechanics, but it's really all about how has the relationship with these characters changed, matured, introducing new characters to the series as well, and doing it in an expertly crafted way. So when it comes to those games, it's more about kind of making some subtle changes, but always pushing forward. And I think what people saw with Assassin's Creed, and why that one in particular people got burnt out with, is that it literally was just the same game, same fetch quests, all skinned with run over here, jump to the top of this tower, kill this guy.
Yeah, every year.
Yeah, every year. And it was always with a story that was so convoluted that you don't care about. And I don't know who this guy is that I'm killing, but I know that he's a mark on my map, so I'm going to go over there. I'm going to stab him in a way that I've stabbed 400,000 people before, the same animation. And whereas that gameplay isn't very deep and challenging and complex, which, similar to Uncharted, it's not the greatest third-person shooter out there. It also didn't have the story chops to back it up, or the characters that you cared about to back it up.
Yeah.
So people just kind of got bored with it, and they stopped buying it, and that's when Assassin's Creed is like, cool, we're going to take a year off, and we won't annualize it. And now they're coming back with something that looks a little fresher, We'll see how it does.
I think I overstated it a little bit. I think it said fundamental changes. Not really fundamental changes, but kind
really.
of changing up the formula, spicing it up a little bit.
Yeah. We'll see how people take to it, and that comes out. Same day as Mario Odyssey, which I'm sure will sell a lot better, but... Actually,
Mario
I don't know
Odyssey?
if it's because smaller install base, but...
I honestly don't even think that. I think that Mario wouldn't detract from the sales of Assassin's Creed. They're just two different of games.
Yeah, but also people have wallets, so...
Yeah, but people who have wallets and money considerations probably don't have every system.
If you're in a part right now where you're going to school, you have to pick and choose your games.
That's true. I have a
Mario
PlayStation 4.
Odyssey was not coming out in October.
Mm-hmm.
You might pick up Wolfenstein 2.
I was going to say, I'm not going to pick up Assassin's Creed. I might pick up Wolfenstein, and you totally called it out. That was good on you.
Since Mario Odyssey is coming out, nope, you're not going to pick up Wolfenstein 2. You're going to pick up that first.
I'll give you one other reason why.
Even though they're very
Wolfenstein
different
2.
audiences.
Why I wouldn't get Wolfenstein 2 over Mario Odyssey as well? I still have Wolfenstein 1, and I need to play that. So I should do that first.
Yeah, but you also have Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2.
I actually haven't played those games. I actually don't have that much experience with Mario games. The only Mario games that I've completed from beginning to end are Mario 64, Mario 3D Land, and like one of the new Super Mario Bros. Games.
Wow, you suck.
I don't have a lot of experience with Mario games.
What games do you play other than Zelda?
Oh, there's also Zelda. Oh my gosh. I don't know if this was a joke on Reddit or not. Did I send this to you?
Nope.
The pie chart? Okay, so this guy sent out like what games do you play the most on Zelda? But he didn't play on the Switch, and he didn't give people like choices. He made them write in their own. So it was just like a bunch of like Zelda Breath of the Wild, BOTW, and everyone spelled it out differently. And the entire pie chart is just Zelda every way spelled differently. It's hysterical. I'll send it to you. It's probably a joke, but it's still, it's kind of true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also hate it.
Oh, it's such a good game.
I don't hate it. I just like to hate it. I just found it super boring. That's it.
Yeah. We have a whole episode about it. You should check it out.
We do. Chad thinks it's boring. And
it's actually one of our most listened to episodes.
It is, yeah. It's one of our most listened to. Many of you, I remember I was talking to Cameron, and Cameron's like, ever since you argued that you found it boring, like, I can't go back to it. You're kind of right. I was excited to play it, and you kind of ruined it for me.
Making the world a worse place, Chad.
No, I am taking the wool off of people's eyes and letting them see the wolf that lies within.
Well,
so yeah,
I still love it.
Anything else you wanted to say kind of about the importance of gaming IP? I think when it comes to the quality level that we're talking about, especially most importantly, you see it with Nintendo and all of these characters that they've had for decades.
That's their lifeblood, is those franchises.
And that's when they have to be very conservative, and they have to pick and choose where these things appear and who they give them to, because it is important. And when you see Mario on a box, it means a certain level of quality, even if it's something like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Or if you see Sonic
is a very high quality game. No,
I'm sure it is, but no one's played it. If you see Sonic on a box, you know it's going to suck.
So if you see Mario and Sonic at the Olympics, you don't know. You're very confused.
Yeah, you can only play that if you're bipolar.
I think Nintendo, they kind of have that. A Mario game will always be this quality. We will not release a subpar Mario game. Like, that's why they take 5 years to make or whatever.
Yeah.
Not quite that long, but still. But they do at the same time kind of whore out that name, Mario. There's Mario Kart. Not these games are bad. Mario Party. Some of those games are bad.
Oh, yeah. Mario Party games are always... Man.
I always love it when I play games. I play Mario Party. I'm like, yeah, you like board games. You like digital board games. Oh,
speaking of board games, just a quick shout out. There's a game that we played this weekend before Game of Thrones called Beyond the House on the Hill.
Okay.
It is a fucking rad ass board game.
All
it's
right.
kind of like an RPG. You have each person has a character card, and they have stats like might and speed and knowledge and stuff like that, and they're different numbers, and as you go you like pick up items and increase those, and the whole thing is you're trying to pick up these items and build up your character as you go through this mansion and discover different rooms. And the rooms, it's like not procedurally generated, but it's randomized.
It's procedurally generated board game. Like as you play, the board gets built in front of you. It's amazing.
Yes. No, that is legit. You go through it. You go through a doorway.
Paper gets formed and stacks to make like a harder
no, it's all little
drawn.
Squares. It's all cardboard squares. You go through a door and then you pick up a square and like, oh, that's the room I'm in now, and then you build on it from there. So yes, it builds on itself.
There's a game called Carcassonne that's kind of similar to that, I think.
Yeah, and then at one point in the game, something happens and the haunt begins, and so at that point the game turns. One of you is a traitor, and then there's some, like in this version, the traitor summoned a dragon, and then there's a dragon chasing us around this thing and around this house, and we had to like get to the basement to get a certain armor and a certain shield that helps us protect against its fire, and then we had to kill the dragon in order to beat it. Like, it was a fucking cool ass game. So everyone go check that out. Beyond the House on the Hill. It's a board game, very fun, 3 to 6 players, and there's like 50 different haunts or scenarios that it could come up with.
Did we do an episode on board games, or we did like something on board games? I think
we mentioned board games on iOS.
Yeah, that's right.
About our iOS games.
That'd be a cool iOS game. I'd play that.
I'd play that.
I'd play that. Do we have?
That's it. I think.
Do you have any subscriber interrogatives at all?
Here's a subscriber interrogative. What T-shirt do you own that you would love to see on a character in a video game?
I would love to see Solid Snake wearing my baby Nintendo shirt. I have one of those.
Technically, it's not a shirt for babies. It is a shirt, a white shirt that has all sorts of different Nintendo like little things all over it, but it looks like a material that would be used to make a baby's onesie, or a design.
It totally does, but I love that shirt. And Solid Snake would look great in it.
I just want to see Mario in a plain white tee.
Well, he's going to have new outfits in
take a day off.
Mario Odyssey.
Kick up his legs, crack a beer. I just want to see Mario dressed down super cash. He's in his plumbing outfit non-stop.
He had his plumbing outfit. He always forgets his tools, though.
Have we ever seen Mario plumb in a game? Is that a verb as well? Plumb? To plumb? I'm a plumber, therefore I plumb?
I mean, he always is in pipes.
There are pipes. He's never carried a plunger.
No. I'd say good on Nintendo for not doing something stupid like that. Here's the plunger power-up for Plumber Mario.
Why make him a plumber?
Because they wanted him to be relatable.
Oh, because everyone's a plumber.
It's true. No, they wanted it to be
they want to make him relatable. Make
person.
Him a fast food worker. Everyone's done that, or a restaurant waiter.
Absolutely. Every single person has.
Everyone's worked in the food industry. Everyone's worked in the service industry.
Mm-hmm.
Or make him a millennial.
He's like, Peach, don't go. Like, fuck. Just let me post this on Facebook, and I'll be right over there to help you out.
Oh, my Grubhub's almost here, babe. Live Grubhub in Rhode Island?
I don't know.
Oh, man, that place sucks.
I don't know. They have Uber.
All right, good for them.
They do have Uber, yeah.
Nice. So we know they hate women.
They do hate women. That's right. Yep. That's the whole thing with the state of Rhode Island. Anywhere the Uber is, women are hated there.
We love clams. We hate women. Rhode Island.
The clam cakes are so good.
Ew, clam cakes. That legitimately makes me want to throw up. Just the name of whatever that is. That's disgusting.
It's so good. They're amazing.
Oh, no, stop it. Hey, that's the end of our show, everybody. Split Screen Gaming Podcast. Maybe, I don't know. We'll talk offline about this. Maybe Wednesday's our new day. Who knows?
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. You can always reach out to us at, I was going to say GameStop.com. That's not us.
Buy all of our merchandise at GameStop.com.
Split Screen Gaming Podcast at gmail.com, Facebook, Instagram, all that fun shit, Twitter, the tweets and the spleets and all that. Bye, everybody.
Peace. Tiger lilies.
I'm not going to end with tiger lilies.